Good morning, everybody. Um, Let me just make sure that I am live. Let me just check my platforms. Let me know if you're hearing me and seeing me. I am supposed to be very, very live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So let me just check here. Very important to let me know if you are hearing me and seeing me. All right. Swing a bit slowly. Let me know if you're hearing me and seeing me, what platform you are joining me on. All right, great. Okay, so live on Facebook. That looks good. And then refreshing LinkedIn to see if I'm live on LinkedIn. And yes, I'm live on LinkedIn. And I'm going to assume that I'm very live on YouTube. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where in the world you are joining me from, right? Of course, it is Carnival Thursday here in Trinidad and Tobago, so there's some excitement. I'm seeing a user on LinkedIn, but it's just saying LinkedIn user. Let me see if I can, see change these features. Thank you. I just can't see who it is. So let me just go back here. Just want to be able to kind of to interact with persons this morning. Again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All right, so that's Karen and Carlisle. Good morning. Right? I hope I'm not butchering anyone's names. I really don't like to butcher person's names. So we are live here, live again on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, coming to you from the beautiful Twin Island of Trinidad and Tobago. This is a kind of action week. It's been a kind of an action year for us as we have a very short carnival season. And we have our carnival Monday and Tuesday next week. So there's lots and lots of excitement here in Trinidad and lots of things to do. But I'm going live, to talk more about marketing and business. And I have an interesting workshop. But before I get to that, I wanted to really chat a little bit about the importance of offline marketing, right? I come across, I've coached quite a few entrepreneurs in the last 3 to 4 years. So this live today has been kind of supported by the conversations that I've had with entrepreneurs and primarily entrepreneurs in the Caribbean, right? And one of the things I get is that we are online, we're doing the digital marketing thing, we have a website, we're active on social media, but the clients are just not translating for us, right? Or translating for these entrepreneurs that I speak to and I coach. And that can have some issues in regard to your content strategy, right? What it is you're doing. But I kind of want to chat about why, as Caribbean persons, we need to take our businesses offline at times, right? So again, I say, before I jump into that, just feel free for persons who are on to let me know what platform you're joining me on, where in the world you're joining me from, because it's important to interact and to know where my community is and where persons are joining me from this morning, right? So as I said, based on the conversation that I've been having with a number of entrepreneurs, a number of clients that I serve, I want persons to understand that when you begin to build a business and you begin to build your brand, you don't necessarily build your business and brand in one place or in one space, right? And yes, social media has a lot of value, but as Caribbean professionals and Caribbean brands, our territories individually are quite small, right? When you look at the total population that might exist in Trinidad versus, let's say, Barbados and Grenada and the USVI and so on, our territories are small. And so where we may sometimes look, and we may look at these larger countries, first world countries, we'll look at the USA, we'll look at Canada, we'll look at the UK, we'll look at Australia to see the type of businesses and brands and how they create their brands online. And the truth is that, okay, it's coming through better now. So Lisa, hi Lisa, good morning. Right, so I'm seeing, and it's the comments are now coming in much better. So fantastic. We think of the spaces here, our territories are pretty small. We look sometimes at what businesses and brands are doing in larger countries. Sometimes we can mimic it, sometimes we can't. We have, for instance, in the digital marketing space, I can find a number of organizations on LinkedIn that specialize only in SEO. Yet the adoption of SEO here, at least in the Caribbean, is still pretty low. So we need to build a bigger awareness of the types of things we can do online, how to utilize it, and so on, really for our benefit. But I want to say the live today is all about how we can create certain strategies offline and how that can help us to grow our business and the benefits that can have for your online strategy as well, right? So with that, I want to kind of just jump into some of the benefits of why we need to kind of build our business, think about building our business offline, right? And when I say we build our business offline, I mean the fact that we might have we're not building it just in a digital space, meaning on social media alone, but that we are looking at offline marketing strategies in terms of networking, in terms of collaborations, in terms of being a part of events. We're looking at those ways that will help us to build our business and also kind of create a synergy with what we are already doing online, right? And for me, this is pretty important, right? Because there are lots of brands online, but then how can we begin to differentiate ourselves? And I think sometimes adopting strategic offline marketing activities can really help us, right? So one of the first benefits I really think and I see for myself, right, is when you begin to build your business offline, you build a sort of active, authentic experience, not just for you, but for your customers. Because yes, we are digital persons and we're constantly on our phones and laptops and so on. But when we step out and we meet our soca artists, and when we meet particular influencers, and when we go for coffee in these nice small coffee shops and very unique in that way, we have a different experience. It begins to solidify the company and the brand in our mind. and it helps to reinforce the experience we have with individuals, with business owners, and that helps, and that of course translates to online. So just think about it, and I get that a lot. Persons say, I've been following you for a long time, Debbie, online, and then they meet you in person, and it should have a much more enriching experience and helps that person to be much more engaged with your business and more willing to support you. And that's why it's important to take some of these strategies, visibility strategies and tactics offline, right? The second benefit, of course, leads from that, which is, of course, it helps to build relationships, right? As much as we build relationships online, and you can build relationships with your clients and your customers and other professionals on online, building relationships is all about, that touch and feel. You get to sit and discuss things with your clients. Clients absorb your energy, your personality, and so there is this special gift that even as a lecturer and a tutor, that I do so much a virtual online training. Nothing really beats that physical one-on-one interaction with students, and it translates in the same way with customers. So when we strategically meet with clients offline, and you can do so in a number of ways. You could do it in an intimate way in terms of just a one-on-one in a coffee shop, or you can do it in a much more structured way through, let's say, a brunch, or let's say, and so you invite a number of clients, or you have a particular event, you have a signature event, so your clients come and they interact with you, or a workshop, your clients come and they interact with you, or you network with persons. It really does help to create a much more, it helps to build the relationship so much better, right? And then just as from a marketing perspective, of course, offline marketing strategies help to reinforce what you do online, right? So think about, and it actually, what it does is it helps to reinforce the reputation. And I think that's really, really important now, right? Because you have so many persons that are online and brands that are online, we want to know that we are dealing with reputable people and reputable organizations. So traditional media still holds that space for many of us, right? So if you do a radio interview, or you do a television interview, or you get an article published in the newspaper, it really does help to solidify you more as a subject matter expert, right? And then think about this as well. All these media houses now actually have a digital footprint. So many of them that have a radio station might be streaming live on the social media platforms on YouTube, etc. They run ads for clients on the radio, and then they run the same ads on their social media pages. So it's integrated now. It's not as distinct anymore, and those offline strategies really help to build your reputation online, and it makes the online experience much more authentic. You are seen as much more reputable, and persons are more likely to follow you, right? To follow you and to convert, right? So with that, of course, feel free to add any comments or questions in the chat. I am always ready, or will be try to be ready to answer them, right? And I'm putting back up here my workshop on February the 28th again, just to let you know that these are the types of strategies that we want to talk about in the workshop. How are you utilizing your offline marketing strategies and tactics to help you build a business and also to help you build a business online. So before I close, I want to talk about actually one of the strategies that can be deployed offline that really help to translate to more business and of course to translate to a better, more authentic online experience from your customers towards your brand, right? And that is the utilization of networking events. And I'll throw in trade shows as well, right? Networking events and trade shows. Now, I get entrepreneurs who say they don't like to socialize, and so I'll say from the beginning, you have to, you're going to have to kind of step out of your comfort zone and really and try to deploy these things, right? Because it's so important and critical to your business growth, right? So trade shows / networking events, and that could be a number of things, right? Because that's broad data, kind of put that out there. But trade shows include things like we just had the energy conference here in Trinidad. There's like a credit union conference that takes place annually in the Caribbean. We have TIC that takes place every year. And we have other small networking events all over the Caribbean, all over the country. You have pop-up shops, you have markets, you have all these things, some free, some paid, but they provide you with the opportunity to, if you pick them strategically, to really get into spaces where persons can, of course, be potential clients or potential collaborators, etc. Right? So I think that this is an aspect of building your business and brand that some startups or even small entrepreneurs don't think about, right? Or they perhaps don't like it, and so they shy away. But as I mentioned, especially in the Caribbean, because we have such individually small niche territories, it's very important to sort of put yourself and your business out there. And and networking really provides that, right? It really provides a space where we could collaborate, where you can meet potential customers, where you can maybe even find a mentor. It allows persons to get to know you, and that helps in referrals, which is also a really great strategy as well. So networking, going to particular types of events and trade shows is really an amazing way to begin to build your authenticity, and build your brand. So with that, guys, I will be having 2 more lives before my workshop on the 28th, right, where we will talk a little bit more about why we really need to integrate offline marketing strategies. As I mentioned, I work with a number of entrepreneurs, and especially since the pandemic, which is 3-4 years now, people are still struggling to grow their business the way that they want to. And I have seen, and if persons really pay attention to some of the Caribbean businesses and brands, you will notice that the very best ones do not just utilize a social media strategy. They actually deploy an integrated marketing approach that looks at things not just on social media, but other offline strategies that support that online strategy, and that's how they grow a business. So this is important, critical, and we're not building a business just for today. We're building it for the next 20, 30, 40 years, we're trying to leave a legacy for our family, kids, nieces, nephews, and so on. And if that is the case, you really do need to think of your business in a much, a much more longer term way, right? All right, before I go, Lisa has a question here. Do you think it makes sense to attend networking events outside of your niche or industry? I would say yes and no. It does depend on you have to do a little bit of research, right? So for instance, I will say for me, I have done a number of networking events that are HR themed, right? I'm not a HR practitioner. I'm a marketing person, right? A sales and marketing consultant. But if I want to do more training, I do need to network with HR practitioners because they are usually responsible for the training needs of their particular organization, and so it's important to sort of network there. But I do think you need to kind of think about it in terms of just doing a little bit of research, trying to find out, okay, this particular event caters to these group of persons or this particular industry. Do I have ideal clients there? If it's a very hard no, then you need to think about why would you want to go on there. It doesn't mean you go and you don't have you don't meet a potential person there that can help you to partner to grow your business, but it's better to be, of course, a little bit more strategic. So just think about the particular event, look at their website and so on, or if they have social media handles and so on. Look at the type of people and professionals that come to those events, and then think about if those are your potential ideal clients. Because if the goal is really to grow your business and brand, you really want to get in spaces where you could either collaborate, somebody could refer you, or you're actually going to be able to sell your particular product or service, right? I hope that answers your question, Lisa. Let me know. But thank you so much for the question. I think that is an important part of networking as well, because there's so many events, and then you could just say, okay, I want to go here, I want to go there, but is it really helpful? I always try persons to you need to ask yourself some questions before you actually go on and engage, right? So with that, I say thank you so much for joining me. Join me again next week, Thursday at this time, and we will be talking a bit more about some other strategies that you can use to help build your business and brand. And these are all offline marketing strategies. So have a great day, everybody. Take care and bye-bye.